Welcome everybody to Let's Play Crusader Kings 2. As always, I'm your host, J2 John Jeremy, and yes, your eyes and ears are not failing you. This is a new video from yours truly to you, the viewing audience. First, let me come right out and say that all of the LPs of mine should be considered closed. I have no current interest in continuing them, nor do I foresee this changing in the future. Now, if you liked a particular video series and are upset to hear this news, thank you for your viewing patronage, and I'm sure someone else on YouTube has more videos of the game that you seek, but it won't be me. Now that that's out of the way, let's talk more about Crusader Kings 2. This game is a sequel, obviously, to the original Crusader Kings. Both of these games were developed and published by Paradox Interactive. If that name sounds familiar, and if you're a PC gamer it should, it's because Paradox is well known for their particular style of game that they develop. Europa Universalis, Hearts of Iron, Sengoku, and Victoria are several other video game series that have been developed by Paradox. And you can tell, because the games have many similarities between them. Now, I've dabbled with several of these titles, but none have really held my interest for too long. None, that is, until Crusader Kings 2. And I think the reason for that is because of the fact that in Crusader Kings and its sequel, your primary goal is not to dominate the world. It's not to reign supreme over all of Europe, although those are options that can be done over the course of the game. But your main goal of the game is just to survive within your dynasty, within your family. You play as a single character over the course of their lifetime, and when they die, you pass on to the next character in the line of succession. And this could mean that you are a simple baron of a single county, or you can be a king of a nation, or you can even be the Holy Roman Emperor himself. All options are on the table. However, you do not need to follow a strict guideline. There's not a strict play style for you to follow. It's simply play as you go. So let's go ahead and check out the options here real quick. I'm playing this at a resolution that is smaller than my viewing screen. My monitor is normally at 1920 by 1200. And you notice this because normally in my recorded videos, you'll see black bars at the top and bottom of the screen when you watch my videos. However, for this game, I am recording it in 1920 by 1080, which is a normal resolution for YouTube. Because I've seen that after testing it on 1920 by 1200, the lettering does not come out properly in the video. So I'm going to try it at this slightly smaller resolution to see if it works out okay. Our difficulty here is going to be on normal, and I'm going to disable all the hints to the game. I think I've played this game enough. This is not a blind Let's Play. I have played Crusader Kings 2 for over 100 hours now. Sad but true, I know. So we're going to go ahead and do this. Single player. Now, the game gives you several options as bookmarked dates, specific points in history that the game thinks you may want to consider playing with. The first is Stamford Bridge. That's the very beginning of the game, the 15th of September in 1066. Next up, we have... Actually, let me go ahead and show you the map in color mode. These are all the independent nations in the game at this time. There are a lot of them, and you can play as the king of them, or you can play as a simple province holder. You are not allowed to play. You are not allowed at this time to play as Muslim, and you are not allowed at this time to play as pagan. Let me find a pagan nation. Yes, not allowed to play as Muslim. Not allowed to play as pagan. I believe this will change with downloadable content and expansion packs. But this is going to be primarily the area that we're working with here. I've yet to play a game where I expand all the way out here. But this is Stamford Bridge. Now if we hit the next button for William the Conqueror, the map changes slightly. It's not too much of a change, but it is a change. William the Conqueror has taken over England. He has his piece of Normandy down here. We have issues going on in Spain with the Muslim territories and the three kings of Spain. The papacy is right here. The Holy Roman Empire has expanded to the middle portion of Italy. If we hit the Third Crusade, as you can see here, there is Jerusalem We have the Arab nations, Egypt. The Holy Roman Empire is still strong. Sicily, there is now a king of Sicily, united. We also have Genoa. Portugal has been created. Leon, Castile, and Aragon are all here. We also have Mauritania has united the southern part of Spain. We have England taking about half of France, while still maintaining about half of Ireland as well. Norway here has taken control of the Isles of Scotland, and Sweden has taken over a bunch of territory over here as well. For the last bookmark date, we have the 100 Years' War. And as you can see, much different. The Golden Horde has invaded and taken over a lot of Eastern Europe and Russia, that territory over here. Novgorod is also taking control of the northern area here. Sweden has taken control of Norway at this point. England has lost the majority of its territories in France. But it still maintains half of Ireland, although different half. Leon has now dominated its brethren, the Castile and Galician nations. Portugal is still right here. Here is Aragon. Granada has now separated from Mauritania. And obviously Jerusalem is no longer a kingdom. It's now under the control of Egypt. So, those are the bookmark dates. Now let's go back to Stamford Bridge for a second. Those are the bookmark dates, but at any given time, you can go ahead and just change the month or the year. And as you can see, the map changes along with historical record of what was happening at the time. And you can play at any given date within this time period. The game goes from 1066 to 1453, I believe. And anything happens once you hit play. Once I hit this play button, nothing will be exactly as it was in history. Things do change. Now, here is the million-dollar question. What nation will we be playing as for this Let's Play? Well, I've given it thought, and I'm actually going to go ahead and play as Scotland. The reason I'm playing as Scotland, and by playing as Scotland I play as the Dunkeld dynasty of King Malcolm III, is that we're going to be playing at the very beginning of the game. At the very beginning of the game, England is besieged by both William the Conqueror of Normandy and King Harald of Norway. So there's a three-way battle for the control of England. So we'll get a bird's eye view of that. It won't be too difficult for us to play. It's not going to be crazy. And we'll probably just play as a regular family. We'll see how we do as time goes on. Remember, there are 400 years of playing to do. Many things can happen. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be playing as Scotland. And we should have some good times. We have 6 vassals under our command. We have to worry about one in particular that I will tell you about once we get started with the game. But let me go ahead and read you the opening. September 20th, 1066 AD. King Harold Godwinson rushes to defend the shores of England against the forces of his traitorous brother Tostig and the Norwegian king Harald III, nicknamed Harade, the Hard Ruler. Meanwhile, William, Duke of Normandy, is about to launch his own invasion of England, sanctioned by Pope Alexander II himself. Saxon, Norse, or Norman? Who shall rule Albion? I'm kind of mad that they don't put Scot in there, you know. I know it may not happen, but hey, we have a dream, damn it. We have a dream. So, 15th September, 1066, King Malcolm III of Scotland. Let us play Crusader Kings 2. Alright, so right away the game gives us a whole bunch of notifications telling us that there are urgent matters that need to be looked at. Man, I'm stuttering all over my words right now. Don't know why. Kind of tired, actually. That's why. So let's take a look first at our king. King Malcolm III of Scotland, 27 years old. He has an heir, although he is not of age yet. He had a wife, she died. So one of our first goals here should be to get a new wife, and I believe that's one of the buttons up here. Ruler unmarried. You should get married. Good idea. We also have an ambition. At any given time, you can have different ambitions for your ruler or character. Some are easy to do, like, for example, get married. Some are hard to do, like, let's say, Paragon of Virtue or Amass Wealth. These are slightly more difficult, especially for a smaller nation like Scotland. But our ambition for now should be just to get married. We'll gain 10 piety and have fun with that. We also, so we'll get rid of that little button right there. We also have three more buttons here. One is that a title can be created, and that title is the Duchy of Albany. Titles give a lot more prestige for an individual who holds it. It also gives them a lot more power. Unfortunately, this particular title costs 198 gold, and we only have 82. And I'm going to be spending that pretty quickly. So we won't be able to afford the Duchy of Albany title for a little bit. But it does give us 200 prestige, and we would need to control 4 territories, which I will show you right here. We would need to control Athol, Gowrie, Fife, and Strathairn. If we control those 4 territories, these 4 right here, we are able to have a duchy as long as we can pay for it. But we can't, so never mind. Ignore. Vassal inheritance warning. So there are vassals with worrisome lines of succession. On death, their titles might pass from your realm. Okay, and we have Earl Eodulf of Teviotdale, which is right down here. And this guy, his heir is Earl Ulsuf of Northumberland. Northumberland is in England, and should the Earl of Teviotdale die first, then England will gain control of that county. However, if we look at Northumberland, he has the same problem. If Earl Ulsuf here dies, then Earl Eodulf of Teviotdale takes this territory, and we gain control, nominally, of Northumberland. So, kind of an interesting situation. Neither of them have a wife, so whoever gets an heir first will be better off. Now, we'll go back to Independent Realm. Okay. So that was the Vassal Inheritance Warning. Here we can press de jure ducal claims. Okay. So here is the territory Caithness. Now, Caithness is under the control of Norway. Norway is pretty big right now, and they're engaged in a war. We have a claim on Caithness, and when I say we, I mean one of our vassals does. So should we go to war for our vassal and take this territory would fall under the control of our vassal, and our vassal would like us more. However, speaking of vassals, let's talk about this particular vassal, Prince Mael Schnechtai. And I'm probably destroying his name, but that's how I'm going to pronounce it for the duration of this video. This guy has a claim on the Kingdom of Scotland. Why does he have a claim on my throne? Because his father was King Lulach of Scotland. This is a different bloodline from my bloodline, a separate royal dynasty. They usurped my family's title, and they have come out of power now as I have come into power. And this guy, in particular, the prince, would like his title back. Right now, he is content according to the game, so he gets a plus 50 relationship rating with me. Should that go away, though, he is immediately negative. Big time. So he is somebody we want to look into. And 2 things will have to happen with him. Either we satisfy him immensely, or we get rid of him with different options on the table. So we need to worry about him. We want to get married. Okay, that's the little message board right there. Let's meet our other vassals. We've already talked about the Duke of Moray. That's his title, Duke of Moray. We also have the Duke of Lothian, Gospatrick Dunbar. He is located right here in Lothian. Also, we have the Earl of Fife. We're located right here. We have the Earl of Strathairn right here. The Earl of Athol here. The Earl of Buchan right here. The Bishop of Dunkeld and the Mayor of Perth are located within my capital, the capital of Gowrie. The reason I know this is because if you click on the county, you can see that there is a castle, there is a church, and there is a city. Now, when you control a county, normally the county has three pieces of land to it: a capital, a church, and a city. The capital is usually a castle. So those are our vassals here, and we have a pretty good opinion with all of them. Nothing too bad to worry about, actually. I'm kind of surprised by that. Normally, at least, this guy doesn't like us. But like I said, he's content for now. We also have a court, and inside of our court are courtiers, and courtiers work for us directly. These people are more difficult to please. And just show through here, we have Earl Dunkeld, who is the bishop that I talked about before. The Earl of Fife is at our court, as is the Mayor of Perth. Duncan Dunkeld is our son. He is the heir to our throne. Eric de Fontavoy and Arthur de Abernathy, as well as George de Errol and Murdoch de Dundee, are courtiers of ours. Georgi Arpad is a courtier is a steward, actually, of ours. And I'll get into what that means shortly. Surprisingly enough, obviously he's not Scottish. He is Hungarian, and he has a claim on the Kingdom of Hungary. So he's probably an exile who has a claim to the throne, and the current ruler banished him from court. That's why he's come to us. He hopes that we will be able to restore him to what he thinks should be his. We probably won't be doing that. It's Hungary, and I'm Scotland, and we're so far away. We also have Margaret of Wessex and Andrew de Dunkeld. And here is Domhnall Dunkeld. Domhnall Dunkeld here is our second son. And as you can see, he really hates us. The reason he really hates us is because he's number 2 in the line of succession. And no matter what, your number 2 and number 3 heirs will always find it offensive that they're not number 1. The game just makes it that way. For our particular law. So, he's a pretender to the Kingdom of Scotland. That's why he doesn't like us. And it turns out that the Earl of Atholl is our half-brother and is allied with us, which is fine by me. Okay, let's talk about our council. Now, in Crusader Kings 2, you have 5 council seats, and they each differ when it comes to what the council members are supposed to be doing. Let's go over each one, starting with the Chancellor. The Chancellor is our advisor on diplomacy. What they are meant to do in the game is to improve diplomatic relations, fabricate claims, in which case I would send the Chancellor to a specific territory I would want for myself, and hope that he would be able to fabricate a claim that says I should own that territory. Then I would be able to go to war with the Cassius Belli and take it, or Belly, however you want to pronounce it. I say whatever. A claim. I will just say claim. How about that? Or he can sow dissent between a vassal and its ruler. Next up, we have the Marshal. Obviously, Marshal, military. Now, the military man can do 3 things also. He can suppress revolts. You send him to a county that looks like it's going to revolt, he will decrease the revolt risk. You can have him train your troops, in which case if you're about to go to war and you want an increase to your levy size, which is the amount of soldiers you can bring with you, you would send your marshal to the county that you want, and he will increase the levy size. Or he can research military technology. Our steward, Georgi, can do 3 things. He can collect taxes, which increases our tax modifier by 27.5% in whatever county we would want. He could oversee construction in a county, which speeds up the time for a building to be built. Or he can research economy technology. Our spy master, Eric de Fontavoy, is our resident go-to guy when it comes to things like plots and assassinations, things of that nature. So he can do 3 things. He can uncover plots within a specific county. He can build a spy network in a foreign nation to get information of rumors or even increase the chance of success for an assassination attempt. Or he can study technology in a foreign nation, in which case he may be able to steal technological secrets from one of our enemies. And last but not least, we have the court chaplain. And our court chaplain can do 3 things. He can head a local inquisition, and I'm going to explain that by going to the religion tab. Now, as you can see in the game, the majority of the Western European world is Catholic. We have some Muslim territories down here, Sunni and Shiite, and over here in Eastern Europe and Eastern Asia and Western Asia, we have Sunni down here, Monophysite, Tengri, Sunni, Sumanesco, Orthodox. These are pagan religions, most of them, not Orthodox, obviously. But our steward here, not our steward, our chaplain, if you wanted to head a local inquisition in a territory, he would be the guy to convert that territory to Catholicism. He can also research cultural technology and improve religious relations between a ruler and a bishop. In our case, we would probably use that to improve relations with the Pope, who is down here in all his papal glory. That's our council, folks. Enjoy. That's actually not a bad council. I mean, it's an average council. I'm not too fond of the Chancellor only having 10. The Chancellor, I feel, is one of the most important council positions, because he is the guy that we depend on when it comes to getting us more territory. Here we have the royal laws of Scotland. As you can see, our heir is Prince Duncan, and our 2 pretenders here is Prince Domhnall and Prince Donald. Prince Donald is our brother, and he's the guy we need to worry about because he usually likes to play a bit of assassination games with me and my family because he wants the throne too. But right now he's pretty satisfied, but he's pretty satisfied with our half-brother and not us. Now, we can change laws in Scotland once every 5 years for these laws, and only once in our king's lifetime for these 2 laws here. These are called crown laws. What these do is they increase either military size from various parts of our realm, either feudal territories like the counties themselves, the county castles themselves, cities, or churches, or they increase our taxation, which is the amount of money that goes into our treasury from either counties, cities, or churches. Investiture is the ability to choose who is going to be the bishop of our areas. Now, if we have free investiture, as we see we have here, the bishop is decided by the king, which is us, obviously. However, if we have papal investiture, the pope is the only individual who chooses bishops. Now, there are pros and cons to both. The pro for us right now is that our bishops like us more because we're the ones to promote them into position. However, the pope dislikes us by -30. If it's papal investiture, we get a 50% piety discount when it comes to requesting the Pope perform special papal actions like a divorce or an excommunication. Right now we're at free investiture, and I kind of like to have it that way. Nice and simple. We choose who's in control. Here is technology. And technology here, it's kind of static. I mean, we're not going to see AK-47s on the battlefield in this game. However, there are slight advances that can be made over the course of the game with different types of technology. Now, we have 3 types of technology: military, economy, and culture. I don't know too much about technology. I mean, this is probably the one area where I'm lacking in information. However, from what I have read and found out is that it's best to have your focus on tactics because it increases the morale of your armies. It's best to have focus on farming because it increases taxes on castles because you have a castle. And it's best to have a focus on legalism for your cultural advances because legalism will help you when your current king dies and the new king takes over. When a new king takes over, his vassals tend to dislike him because he has only been in power for a very short time. They feel as though now is the opportunity for them to get more control. Legalism helps stem the tide of that. This is our military. As you can see, it's not a very big one. We only have access to about 1,400 men over the course of 8 vassals. And these are all the vassals here. This is the different types of military that they have. There are light infantry, heavy infantry, pikemen, light cavalry, heavy cavalry, and archers, as well as horse archers and galleys. Now, you cannot decide what to recruit in terms of what they're going to send you over the course of the game. However, there are certain buildings that you can build. For example, you can build a militia training ground, in which case you would get 80 more light infantry and 10 more archers. Or a Schildtron training ground, which gives you 65 more pikemen. Those are the only ways to increase the size of your military. The way to increase the size of your vassals' military, or at least what they will give to you when you declare war on somebody, is to improve your opinion with them, as well as make laws that would increase the amount of levies that you are able to make your vassals give you. Right now, we're on normal. The maximum would be max, in which case every soldier is sent for us. But that would obviously make our vassals dislike us more. So I've shown you the ambitions here. We also have decisions that we can make. Anything from inviting a person to our court, whether it's a holy man or a noble or even a woman. We also have the ability to hold feasts, hold summer fairs, and go on grand hunts. Those three options are going to be the ones that we use most often because they will increase our traits and our abilities, as well as gain us prestige and potentially form good opinions between our vassals and ourselves. However, there's also the chance of bad things happening, as you will see over the course of as we play the game. We can also buy indulgence for our sins, which basically means we go on our hands and knees to the Pope and ask for forgiveness. That tends to be expensive, and it only gives us 25 piety, I believe, or piety, or however you want to pronounce it, which is not really all that great. I'm not a fan of it. Diplomacy. Any individual can have a diplomacy option, pretty much, and the options vary between people. For example, this is the prince that I was talking about before. We have options like awarding him an honorary title, sending him a gift, imprisoning him, assassinating him, arranging a marriage where the woman is the line of descent, arranging a betrothal between children, educating a child, transferring a vassal to him, or we can even request his excommunication if we wanted to, and if we had the ability to do so. Religion. We are under the control of the Catholic Church. Here is the Pope, Alexander II, and he really does not like us, because we are cynical, and we are wroth, and we also have free investiture. So he is not very fond of us. Luckily, I have yet to see the Pope really do anything to another Catholic nation when it comes to bad tidings. But we'll see. Things change in the game. Popes do die. The new popes do take over, and they do have different opinions on a person, depending on what their traits are. And this is our bishop, Bishop Eric. We can appoint his successor, and we also have the ability to make an anti-pope. An anti-pope is the counterpart to the pope. We would be in control of him, and anybody who believes in the anti-pope more than the pope would give their taxes to us rather than the pope in Rome. There's a downside to this, however, and I told a friend this while we were playing, and he did not believe me, but he believes me now. When you have an anti-pope, you decrease the moral authority of the church and increase the spread of heresy. And eventually, heresy will be brought to your country. Should heresy be brought to your country and your ruler be taken under its sway, then any country that follows the Catholic religion is able to declare a holy war on you and take your territory. Not a very good situation you want to be in. So my suggestion, don't make an anti-pope. It's not worth it, in my opinion. That's only my opinion. So, we've gone through all the tabs. Over here, we just have a tab of our things that we should keep an eye on. Wealth, 82 gold, with a monthly balance of +1. Monthly prestige of +2. Piety, plus 0.37. Wow, low piety because of our cynicism, basically. Demesne size, 1 of 6. Let's talk about demesnes for a second. When it says demesnes, it basically means what territories you're in control of. Right now, I am in control of a single territory. I am in control, direct control, of the capital, county capital of Gowrie, which is Scone. This is mine. Should I take over a castle in another county, or if I should take over the church or the city, they would become part of my demesnes. Normally, you would only take control of county capitals of other counties, and we can have a total of 6. Once we go past 6, our vassals will greatly dislike us, and we will receive tax penalties because we are in control of more than what we can handle, or what our character can handle. And this is just our realm size, the total number of holdings under our control in the realm. And finally, we have score. Now, the prestige and piety of each successive character you've played is added to your score at the end of the game, is added at the time of their death, and your score will determine your final rank when the game ends. Like I said, the game ends either in 1453 or when your entire dynasty dies. When you have no more successors, you have no more heirs, your bloodline is extinct. That's the only other way that the game ends. Okay, so I think I've pretty much explained everything. If I haven't, we will go over it in more detail next time. But that's next time. Until then, this is J Square John Jeremy signing out, saying so long, take care, and get ready for some fun, Scotland, because we are definitely going to have some. So long.